Hello, hockey fans. Coming at you a little late today. Sorry about the delay here. Had a few other things going on, but wanted to do a video. Should be a pretty quick one today. There's only 3 games on the board tonight. Want to talk a little bit about a few of the games that we saw over the course of the weekend, and what they mean in the grand scheme of things. But starting off tonight, first game we have is San Jose comes into New York. San Jose's won 5 straight on the road now. Won every single game on this road trip, defeating New Jersey, Boston, Nashville, Detroit, and the Islanders. Detroit and the Islanders were over the weekend. They beat the Islanders 3-2 in overtime in a spot where I thought they were in a tough position, coming off a big win in Detroit. But they show up once again, even though they were outshot for the first time in a long time. Although they were outshot by Detroit by not this big of a margin, they were outshot by the Islanders 37-30. I mentioned earlier last week that the Sharks do own the biggest differential in shots for against shots against. Conversely, you're looking at a Rangers team who only puts on 24 shots a game and giving up 33 a game. So, if stats kind of hold true tonight, I think we should see another game where San Jose gets plenty of chances against this New York Rangers team. New York has now lost 2 in a row at home to open up the Madison Square Garden campaign, losing to Toronto 4-2, and then losing a pretty, I wouldn't even say a heartbreaking loss, 5-4 in a shootout against Ottawa on Saturday afternoon. A game where they were up 4-1 halfway through the third period and just absolutely implode on themselves and lose the game 5-4 in a shootout. That's a sign of a team that is maybe not as consistent as I thought they were. And a coach like John Tortorella should have this team, fix that problem pretty quickly. That's something that is a bit of a concern with me with the Rangers. They had another game like that when they were in Europe. I believe they were up. I believe they were up 1-0 late against. It was either Anaheim or LA. They were up late and gave up a late goal to send that game into overtime, where they ended up losing, picking up on a point. But it's something where a team who is so good defensively and blocks shots and does the right thing, you would think they would have that ability to hold a lead. But unfortunately for them, they weren't able to do it tonight. Last game of the road trip for San Jose. Like I said, they're 5-0. After this game, they do go home. They get a few days off and they take on Pittsburgh at home in a nice little homestand there for them. So this is a game where I originally thought, going before the weekend Friday, when looking ahead to games, I thought the New York Rangers would win a tight one here, like a 2-1 type game. I still believe that. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game here in New York. The total of 5 reflects that. But at the same time, I'm not in any position to say that San Jose is going to lose a game the way they're playing right now. I love the way this team's playing. I said it from the outset that this is one of the Stanley Cup contenders. Definitely a Stanley Cup favorite, and the way they've been playing on the road, really illustrates that. So, in no position to step in front of San Jose here, but at the same time, I think you might find a little value with the Rangers at home. Next game is Florida. Winnipeg comes to Florida. This is a Winnipeg team that is a little hard to, I guess, characterize. Thinking that they were going to play a very wide open game in Tampa Bay the other night, on Saturday night, thinking that Tampa Bay was, it was going to be a run and gun type game like we saw in Philadelphia, the 9-8 game. And the next thing you know, these two teams all of a sudden play great defensive hockey, and it's a 1-0 game. So, kind of weird to predict where this Winnipeg team is going to do defensively from night to night. I don't think they're a great defensive team by any stretch of the imagination. That being said, Winnipeg, they have lost 3 of their last 5 games. They are still on this road trip, beating Philly 9-8, losing to Tampa Bay 1-0, and now they still continue this road trip. Florida, the Islanders, Rangers, Devils. The Buffalo. They have a very, very long road trip, and this is something that you want to take note of with this Winnipeg team moving forward. I think it's a spot that they're going to have a tough time on this road trip. And they're facing a Florida team, let's face it, is gaining a lot of confidence. They had a tough loss in Ottawa the other night, losing 4-3, giving up a goal in the last 4 seconds to lose that game after tying it late. But they came right back, which is a sign of a solid team, beating the Buffalo 3-2, being down late 2-1. coming back and scoring 2 late goals in the last 5 minutes to win that game, despite having to kill off a 5-minute penalty during that time as well. So, a Florida team who comes back home and has 3 games here at home against some teams that they can definitely beat, teams that they're going to have to beat, to prove that they're a playoff caliber type team. So, this is a game here that I can make an argument for it being high scoring or low scoring, just because of the way both these teams have been playing lately. Theodore is healthy. He is, he played against Buffalo and played well, and that was a little bit surprising. That Markstrom. I think if Markstrom wins that game in Ottawa, then we're not going to see him. We're not going to see Theodore play in Buffalo. So, something to take note of going forward is there may be a possible goalie controversy here in Florida. As far as the last game on the board, Nashville at Chicago. I want to speak a little bit about Chicago and kind of I thought they were in a great spot in Carolina the other night where they ended up losing 3-0. And I neglected, and I thought they were in a good spot. I thought they were going to be in a bad spot the next game on Sunday when they came home and to face, not Sunday, excuse me, Saturday when they came home to face Columbus and ended up winning 5-2 against Columbus. I thought that the spot was good for them in Carolina. It would be bad for them at home against Columbus. But after just thinking about it and kind of going over some things in my head and just thinking things out a little bit, there's a lesson to be learned here in that not every team is necessarily who we think they are, who we want them to be. Sometimes I get stubborn in my thinking as well. Is that with the Ottawa team, for example, that I thought was going to be a surefire, low-scoring team who was going to have trouble, trouble putting the puck in the net and was going to lose some games. And looking back and just not having the ability to okay, yes, I'm wrong about something, or yes, I've been incorrect in thinking that this team is going to continue to play this way. And I think as a handicapper, as when you look at these games, you have to be able to separate yourself from what you originally thought to what you see now and what you see going forward. And so maybe the teams have changed. Maybe that they're not what you thought they were going to be. So the old Dennis Green, we are who we thought they were. Well, sometimes they're not. And so the Chicago team is maybe not who I thought they were. Not being able to, I thought they'd be an experienced enough team and a team that's old enough and has been there before to be able to go on the road for a one-game, standalone game against Carolina before heading back home. I thought they'd be able to go on the road, and they weren't. And that's something that you have to sometimes change your thinking that maybe Carolina isn't that bad, poorly defensive, or just looking at different spots. So. Anyway, back to the game here, Chicago and Nashville. Said multiple times that Nashville's had trouble to score, but they have played some very tough defensive teams. They have won 3 out of 4 games, beating Calgary, beating Tampa Bay, and beating Anaheim. So winning 2 in a row, shutting down Anaheim was a huge victory for them at home on Saturday. But at the same time, they did lose Mike Fisher to a head hit there in the game that got pretty ugly for the most part after that hit. But that being said, they did beat Anaheim. They are, they're facing a tough Chicago team. I think this game is going to be a little lower scoring. I shouldn't say it is going to be. I mean, these teams have played, for the most part, they played 4 of the last 5 games under the total, and they are generally a lower scoring team. I think that's why you're seeing this thing lined at 5. Not really interested in picking a side here. I think Nashville, can do enough to win on the road here, and Chicago obviously has the talent and enough talent and defense to win this game as well. So surprised to see this line where it is. That being said, that is it. Those are the 3 games. Sorry, not really too enamored with these games tonight. Tomorrow we have 5 on the slate, and that is it. Enjoy the games tonight, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Good luck and goodbye.